Hey everybody, testing 1, 2, and I'm here. Yes, GT, you were absolutely correct, and you did 1,000,000%, and I do mean 1,000,000% predict that that the Raiders were going to tank. That seems to be the operative term now, tanking, huh? Tank, okay? Tank. Tank. Like, tank. Interesting. Hey, Patrick M. Blackman, how are you? G. Taylor, how are you? Cowboy Wrestler, how are you? How is everybody doing? Hello, 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 hello. How are you? So, yeah. Wow, let's go back and review that score. I mean, just for, grins, or cries, whichever the case may be. When we do now join Zenny62 in progress. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the jungle. Yeah, well, this is not the jungle, but it's definitely a place to be to talk about Raider. I have an idea, folks. I'm blah 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 because I was hesitant to put out this idea, but I've got this idea, and here's the idea. I think Raiders fans, after this 42-28 debacle, should be the ones to rightly call the plays for the Raiders. I mean, this is 2018. It's not 2008. It sure as hell ain't 1998, right? Why not have a system where Raider fans, for a small fee, like maybe $10, right? They'll go to charity, around the world could chime into this portal with game plan information and actually select the game plan for the Raiders, for the upcoming opponent. And the persons that put in the most information about the upcoming opponent that impacts the game plan get some sort of award or prize, So what we have is we have a gamification of fan participation in the operation of an NFL team during the season before an opponent, So we do it like the week before, who the opponent's going to be. And so the Monday after the game that you played before the game, basically everybody has to have their game plan information in, and the system spits out a kind of an average of what the fans think the team needs to do against a particular opponent. It would be just involved enough to weed out the crap, the people who would just want to push a button and basically have no involvement whatsoever beyond that. That's my idea. Okay, I'm thinking, why not? Now let me get to your comments, everybody. Patrick M. Blackman says he's just looking forward to the draft. Angelo Badilla says hello. And Cowboy Rush says Raiders versus 49ers battle of the Bay and quite possibly the first pick in the 2019 NFL draft. Ooh, but here's the thing. Do the players care? So basically, see, this is why I don't subscribe to that thinking, because the players don't own the team. And if you think about that logically, hey, Miguel, how you doing? If you think about that logically, you're basically saying that the players are supposed to root for the right to get a person that may replace them, a better person. That doesn't make any sense to me, okay? That makes no sense whatsoever. So please, when you read stuff in the media where someone says, oh, it's the battle for this, start thinking critically and writing stuff like, that's really a stupid idea, because it is. It's really a stupid idea. No player wants to tank a game to have a team they have zero stake in terms of ownership. Zero stake. Zero stake in terms of ownership. Get an NFL draft pick that may very well replace them the next year. That's absolutely nonsensical. Okay? What the organizations are playing for is, in their mind, very much a mind of, for the idea that they can make the playoffs. Oh, yeah, I said it. Oh, yeah, I said it. The playoffs. Okay? The playoffs. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. So the playoffs. Okay. The playoffs. Am I saying the Raiders will make the playoffs? Hell no. Am I saying the Niners will make the playoffs? Hell no. But look, if you're 1 win and 6 losses, let's say you turned it around and you started rattling off win after win after win after win after win after win. So then you're 7 and 6 after win. You're 8 and 6 after win. You're 9 and 6, and after win you're 10 and 6. Is that possible for either team to achieve? No. I'm just saying though that, you know, that's what they think going in. No team gives up until the other teams are named for the playoffs, and then it's time to start talking about pride. So we still have a long way to go before that happens. All right? I mean, a long way to go, okay? We still have a long way to go before that happens. So, that's just the way it is. We really do. So, Cowboy Wrestler says, very ashamed of Dan Gilbert and Cleveland Cavaliers organization today with the firing of Tyronn Lue after only after 6 games. Cowboy Wrestler says, playoffs. Are you kidding me? Playoffs? No, I'm not. Tony Cox says, playoffs. Do you think the Raiders can win another game? I think they can, yeah. The question is, will they? Another story. And Amateur Fan says something like, whatever, I don't know. He said the playoffs, okay? So, the playoffs. Do I think the Raiders can make the playoffs? No, the Raiders cannot make the playoffs. The reason why the Raiders can't make the playoffs, and this is a prediction, is because the Raiders' head is not right. Collectively, heads are not right. And the reason why the Raiders' collective heads are not right is that, well, Gruden really Gruden didn't do this, okay? Gruden didn't do this, okay? Gruden didn't do this, okay? Now, my point is that, yeah, you're going to say, what? And I'm saying, yeah, Gruden didn't do it because he has no control over the Raiders' purse strings. That comes from the 2 Marks, and then Reggie and John, Reggie McKenzie, the GM, and Jon Gruden, the head coach, have to deal with it, okay? It's that simple. I don't agree, as Corey Brown just said, that old powerhouse DeSalle Spartans team could beat this Raiders group. I disagree. I think the Raiders group is pretty good. The trouble is the Raiders group doesn't have its mind right. Look, they started, all these guys started, with the exception of, all these guys started, let's say for 1, maybe 2, 3, started in training camp with Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper. 2 acknowledged leaders. And they're gone, okay? They're gone. And Amari Cooper, it just happened last week, and Jon Gruden gave out comments which would lead anybody to think, hey, you know what? Gruden really didn't see this coming, and he was blindsided. That tells me that John has been trying to put a smiley face on this whole budget picture because they're not making money, because they're committed their money to Las Vegas, all right? That's the problem. And even in the Vegas parlance, look, I put out a post last Thursday, and Citron, you're right. Mac was a no-show, but Mac was in contact with many of the team members, okay? It wasn't like he was siloed out from anybody, all right? But given what I said, I do stand corrected because I gave the impression that he was in the training camp, and so you're absolutely right. I was wrong. Boom. Now, look, the point I'm making is that if you're a player and you're like a Colton Miller, you just got drafted and you're excited to join the Raiders, and one of the people that you've always heard about is Khalil Mack, but suddenly maybe you don't get a chance to meet with him, or of equal importance, or if you think about it from a perspective of playing preparation, more importance, practice against him, you feel a loss. And then Amari Cooper is an acknowledged leader from Alabama, great wide receiver, and all of a sudden he's gone, okay? So it makes you wonder two things. First of all, what kind of team is this that they're not holding on the players that are the acknowledged stars? And then here's the other issue. What's going to happen to me? What are they going to do to me? And then here's the other question. Who the heck is mining the store to make the money that pays me? And what are they doing with the money that would normally go to me? Those are key questions that impact the job security and mental well-being of any NFL player. At the end of the day, you want to know that you're going to get paid, okay? So you're with an organization that basically shows that, say, for maybe one guy, nobody else is really going to get paid. Why? Because they're thinking about themselves and their future someplace else. That is the epitome of bad. And that's the situation now, all right? That's the situation. And so Gruden, in this bad situation, has to put on $100 million smiley face and come up with words to deal with the situation he's been in, and then articles put out that make it look like he's Simon LeGrier dealing with the wrong people. He probably was, okay? So Patrick M. Blackman says, Gruden lying insults the fan intelligence. He's acting like a shiesty car salesman. Citron Count says, I bet Carr is gone, whether it is before the trade deadline or during the offseason. And do you think that's why they got A.J. McCarron? Just asking. I am still explaining to everybody, look, when you're in a situation where you expect to get $750 million from public monies to pay for a stadium, and you're only getting, in reality, right now, $543 million, okay? And basically, you're going to wind up about $50 million short. Hopefully, you're going to wind up maybe, perhaps, $15 million short. Guess what? It's still $15 million you have to come up with from some other source. And again, in spite of this popular idea that the National Football League teams print money, there are revenues coming in and expenses going out. That's right, revenues and expenses. Again, money come in, go and go out this way, okay? So that's the problem. The problem is you want to have the money coming in, you want to have it build up so you have a savings, a high net operating income, right? And then a little bit less go out. The Raiders, it's like this, and then it's like that. Yeah, not a good picture, folks. And Citron says, the next few days are going to be interesting leading up to the trade deadline. And Cowboy Wrestler says, Citron Count Carr will not be the starting quarterback of the Golden State Raiders next year. I like that, the Golden State Raiders. Does that mean that they're going to play in San Francisco too? Anyway, they are going to Levi this Thursday. Aha. Joseph Amendaretz, how are you? Joseph says, Gunther looks fed up, which coaches will leave Gruden. And Joseph Binsman says, tough loss for the Raiders today. I thought Luck and the Colts would be a little too much for the Raiders today. When Luck is healthy, the Colts are just several notches better. Mike Zillman, congrats Red Sox and Lewis Hamilton, 2V and the Red Sox. I freaking hate the Red Sox. Doggone it. Yeah, I can't, they won. I can't even say the C word, which is like O-N-G. I can't say it. All right? I'm used to the old 1812 stuff, you know? I'm used to those Red Sox, not these Red Sox. Dang it. I'm tired of these Red Sox. I'm tired of it. Tired of hearing about them. I'm tired of every time you go to a bar in the Bay Area, they're packed with New Englanders. Go home. Drives me crazy. Anyway, Cowboy Wrestler says, Z, I call them Golden State Raiders because, as you know, they're homeless next year. Golden State sounds catchy. Ding. Mike Zulum says, champions, unlike that sorry East Bay team. Which one is that? As a Cowboy wrestler just wrote, ugh, Boston. Ding! Mike Zulum, get out of here, okay? Oh, and then I have to make a comment about, while I'm at it here, for the 46 of you watching, Jameis Winston, those 4 interceptions, so all of a sudden they want to throw him out. Hey, Ryan Fitzpatrick came in, he threw 4 picks, they didn't want to get rid of him. It was like, oh, but is he's still going to start the next game, right? Yeah, come on. You know, this thing is so tinged with racism, it's not funny. It's not. My point is, I really hope, for the Raiders' sake, that the Bucs trade Jameis. Jon Gruden and Jameis Winston be a pretty cool pairing, although I have a feeling I don't want Jameis Winston to wind up like E.J. Manuel. You know what I mean? That would be a bad thing. So, Jon Gruden with Jameis Winston would be a lot of fun to watch. Jameis Winston, a Raider, would be a nice thing. I think getting Jameis Winston out of the tyranny of Tampa Bay would be the best thing that happened to him. Oh, my goodness. Citron Count says, the only thing good that came out of the Raiders game is that Adam Vinatieri made history. Points scored at age 45. Bensman says, laugh out loud. I can't stand the Boston Red Sox. 24-7 diehard Yankee, but they were too good this year. My Yanks have plenty, your Yankees, not your Yanks, have plenty of good years coming up anyway. Ha ha ha. Welcome to Zuni62, by the way, if you've never been here before. Please subscribe. Cowboy Wrestler says, nothing worse than hearing people in Boston bragging about their teams, or for that matter, pulling their pants down and showing you their shorts that say 1812, as a woman did to us when she was mooning us several years ago before they started winning. Mike Zoom says, I'm an A's fan. I have to congratulate, did I just say that word? The champs. Cowboy Wrestler says, go Texas Rangers. John Marks, happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Go Beto. Mike Zoom says, what, you all wanted the Dodgers to win? Ding. Yeah, Magic, man. Magic, man. Yeah. Magic Johnson, come on. He's the principal owner. You got to root for Magic, man, okay? It is sacrilegious not to root for the great Laker, the truly great, true Laker, Magic Johnson. Not a trade, not someone brought over from another. Okay, well, Shaq was a great Laker, too. He was brought over from another team. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. Magic's the man. Mike Zoom just hates L.A. Muhammad Ahmad, how you doing? He says, if Paul G thought he was going to change the defense, talking about Paul Gunther with the Raiders, he was wrong. Half those players on that side just have to go. They don't fit the scheme. John Mark says, creature feature. And all-time Hulk fan says, you should be the news reporter for NFL. Thank you. Ms. Zeitgeist, how you doing? Ms. Zeitgeist says, is it just me, or do Boston sports fans have this attitude? They have the attitude about sports media where they think everyone is out to get them. Well, actually, they're kind of right. ISO Wallow Come says, hey, man, love your channel. Would appreciate if you come give me a shout-out. I just did. Ding. But getting back to Ms. Zeitgeist, I think that you hit it up on the head, because there are people who think that Boston fans are the big O, which is obnoxious. Yes. So, because they have proven that they have been that. I mean, hey, look, what other place do you go to in the NFL where the star receiver or receiver scores a touchdown, manages to run into the fans, and the fans, throw beer and spit on him? Welcome to Gillette Stadium, home of your New England Patriots. Boston fans, okay? It's not so much that people are out to get Boston fans. That's the wrong way to think about it. No. And it's not a terminology I want to use. They just are wary of their behavior. Does that make sense? All right? I want to hold, since I have not done this, a moment of silence for the 11 that were killed in the Pittsburgh synagogue shooting, and I want to talk about that after this moment. It's a truly sick situation when you have a woman, 97 years old, a Holocaust survivor, lose her life in the United States for being Jewish. But that is what happened. Now, Muhammad says, wish the salary cap system were in baseball. Game would be so different. Richard Haig, how you doing, man? Richard says, I was at Yankee Stadium for the wild card game. Yeah, you didn't vlog the experience, man. I was like, oh, he lost. He forgot about it. He's heck with Zenny. He says, that was the worst sports fan experience ever. You could have shared it with us. You know, you could have put it all on great, you know, Zenny vision. You know, it's like, Joseph Bensman says, rest in peace to the 11 lost in yet another senseless shooting. Yes, that woman was 97 years old and survived the Holocaust. We need common sense gun laws on our country. John Mark says, prayers for the Pittsburgh synagogue tragedy. And I would also, you know, add that we need to enforce the laws that we have. But I think beyond enforcing the laws, we just need to simply be nice to each other. There is, and I blame social media for this, a layer of incivility that's just wild. And it just is completely wild. And I think that people, they get on platforms, be it, you know, this or my blog, Oakland News Now, or Zenny62, or Facebook, or wherever, and they say bad things to people that they would never say in person. And that's got to stop, okay? It really is. And in Twitter, I'm tired of people who have these tiny little followers, like, oh, you have maybe 50 or maybe 200. I have 135,000 followers. And they use my social graph to communicate their vile message. No, no. You get blocked like that. Go away. I don't want that. But my point is, you see, do you hear me about that? Okay, think about that. Think about how bad that makes someone feel. They're itching to like make their point, and then I block them, which makes them feel bad, and so they take that negative feeling out in the world. That is a bad dynamic in and of itself. Awful, and we have to have a really honest, common sense set of laws and regulations regarding platforms and how they're ran. Because I think it's accepted now that there's no such thing as free speech on any of these platforms. You want to speak freely? You know what? You go buy yourself 5 acres of land out in suburban, you know, someplace in the, you know, Alabama, and just yell to the sky whatever it is you want to yell, because it's your place to do that in that area. But to think you can do it someplace else, forget it. All right, back to sports. Now, let's see here. Richard Hike says, I considered making a video on Zenny62, but he was doing his son's YouTube video. Oh, how did that turn out? How did that turn out? Joseph Binsman says, racists like this guy are not going to be nice to anyone. We need gun laws. Got it. But I don't want to turn this into that, Joseph. You know, we made that point once. Let's go back to sports, okay? Let's kind of keep it on that, please. Ice Swallow says, hey, man, I don't care. Joseph Amendaret says, I can't believe Trump was tweeting about Dave Roberts when he should have been worried about the white supremacists shooting those people. Yeah. Richard Hike says, I never finished it. The fan issue at the game really screwed things up. What happened to the fans? Tell us. Give us a story about the fan issue. Now, while you're talking about the fan issue, I am going to, because I think it's going to be interesting to do so, play Raiders Live post-game presser. Okay? So that's what I'm gonna
installing your new TV service. You
okay.
silly goof.
Hold on a second.
I ordered a new TV service.
Why, yes, you did.
You're all wondering what that is. It's like, hold on a second.
The great apes.
The great apes.
They were our distant ancestors.
I knew it.
Through evolution, they gave rise to new, more advanced species.
Hold on a second, folks.
Far and wide, and invented hunting, power, tools, love, and soul.
I honestly don't know what that is. Hold on, let's skip the ad here.
You're going to have to pay for that.
Correction. I am not going to have to pay for that.
Hold on a second, folks. That's hilarious.
With the Zenither app, you can watch hundreds of movies and TV shows from your phone for free.
That's interesting. Where's that coming from? Hold on. I got, oh, I know.
Zenither has cool, unique features like...
Sorry, folks. That was the NFL Network. And they kind of snuck their little... I thought that was funny. Right on, Joseph Binsman, I got you. Richard Hike says, I had one guy, this is about his fan problem. Richard Hike says, I had one guy in particular who followed me around the stadium shouting obscenities, and it almost came to blows. Oh, dude, that would have been so viral. We could have, like, outed the guy, right? You could have, like, hey, what's your name? He would, drunken fool, probably would have said his full name. You could have laid the groundwork to have that fool put in custody. Just saying, you know, that's what live streaming is for. Outing people so that you can just say, hey, you know what? This guy needs to go away. And I have to make a comment. I don't know if this certain person is watching, but there's some of us like me who put their name out there in connection with things because social media and being out there in media is the safest place to be. Because people know who you are and you establish for yourself a fan base or celebrity base and you move forward, okay? Just saying. Now, moving forward. Richard Hike says, I was at the LA Steelers and Raiders game at the LA Coliseum in 1990. That was the game where LA fans knocked out a Steeler fan for no reason. A riot almost happened that day. Richard Hike says, quite a number of fans threw food. Lots of cowardly people, including children, yelled profanity. Richard Hike says, the guy who followed me did end up getting arrested. John Mark says, wow. Joseph Binsman says, I learned today that Fred Rogers, oh, this is a sad, I know what you're going to say. Fred Rogers grew up in Squirrel Hill, the town where that synagogue is. Must be a heck of a community. Very sad. I completely agree. But can we get off this? All right? Joseph, I'm about to curse here. I'm asking you to fucking stop, man. I don't want to talk about that right now. Okay? I just don't. I mean, okay? I don't. All right. So anyway, let's see here. Miguel says, they need to start teaching people to love each other through kindergarten. Agreed. Richard Hike says, the reason I didn't record, because my phone got knocked out of my hand twice. That would have been a great reason to record. They knocked it out of your hand twice. You picked up, it's still going. You've been jumbled, and everybody's like, you know what? Hey, okay. All right. So, okay, here's the thing. There are, okay, there we go. All right. All right. Joseph, I had to take you off as a moderator. Joseph Binsman was a moderator. I had to take you off as a moderator, not as a person, but as a moderator. Here's the reason. Because, and I'm saying this to other people who are moderators, who don't do this, you have to control your emotions. If there's something I don't want to talk about, you don't use being a moderator or that to think that you have some control or input over somebody else in this space, all right? That's wrong. There are people here who come here because they don't want to talk about politics, particularly something as gruesome as that, all night long, and I'm simply trying to respect their wishes. If I ask you to stop as a moderator, and I ask you more than once, I shouldn't have to. But when I curse about it, and then you say you don't like the cursing, it means you are more into what your sensibilities are rather than mine, and I'm the moderator, okay? I am the ultimate moderator. This is my channel. So if I give you the privilege, and I did, of being a moderator, and you don't respect what I'm asking, and it's about you, then you're not helping me. Okay? I don't want to spend the time here talking about something that is so depressing that it is unreal. And it really is unreal. We all need a mental break. And the mental break is where sports comes in. Okay? So I'm sorry to basically defrock you like that, but my point is, you have to remember that when you are given the privilege of being part of an elite group of anything in anybody's area, and maybe you think it's a joke that I'm referring it to that way, but I don't care. It is. You are part of, with John Marks and other people. That means that, as John Marks will tell you, because he does it very well, you respect the wishes of the person who's running it. If you have input, you share your input at the appropriate time, off camera, call or email or anything else. But while this thing is running, and you're pushing your agenda, and you're the moderator, that's wrong. Okay, Forward. All right. Well, Richard Hike is another moderator. There's a reason why these guys are stand-up. I'm not saying you're not a stand-up guy, Joseph, but I'm saying that, you know, you got to tone down the emotions, man. All right? You have to tone it down. So, for me, okay? So, Richard Hike says, best part of what he experienced is when it came the time to fight, a gang of Oakland fans came out of nowhere to back him up. That's when the police came out of nowhere and arrested the guy. Wow. And Richard Hike says, Mike Zillum, it was a Yankee Stadium for the wild card game. John Mark says, thank you, Zenny, to which I say thank you. I Swallow come up and says, who do you think is the best three-point shooter in the NBA right now? Steph? Mike Zillum says, in fact, I'm glad you kind of threw that in there because Steph Curry set a record for three-pointers in consecutive games tonight on the road at the Great Arena in Brooklyn. If you haven't seen that arena, I've seen the outside of it. Magnificent place. I'm dying to go inside one of these days. But, congratulations to Steph. He lit up the place. Rightly so. Mike Slim says, game should be canceled Thursday. Cruel and unusual for the rest of the country. Muhammad Ahmed says, Raider Nation is everywhere. Mike Slim says, thanks, Richard. Billy Jones says, I'd still take Carr over CJ. CJ or AJ? You mean AJ McCarron? I'm a little confused there. Cabaret says, Z, what happened? Step away from home and I hear you come out here berating Joseph Binsman. I didn't mean to berate him. All I'm saying is that he was pushing an agenda about politics, and I don't mind it once or twice, but when I read these things, and some people try to use the fact that I read their comments, which is the reason why people come here, is they want their statements to be heard. I get that. But he's a moderator, and a moderator takes a back seat. When you're a moderator, you have overview. It's not for you to step forward in the throne and say, okay, I'm the boss, and I get to hit you over the head with my power to ban you and everything else, all right? No, that's not what it's about. And all I asked him to do was to please refrain from the politics. When I ask a person who is a decorated moderator to do that, all I expect them to do is just to do that and not keep on going with their agenda. So I saw it. I just, for the first time in a long time, got I got angry, and I said a curse word. And I said, hey, look, I'm going to curse. And he goes, well, I'm out here because I don't like the cursing. Well, excuse me, if you don't like the cursing, hey, I mean, then, okay, great. Joseph Business Becky says, I'm ready to move on and talk about sports. Awesome. John Mark says, hey, guys, I do remember the NFL game between the Jaguars and the Browns. Fans threw beer bottles at the refs due to a bad call on the field. Muhammad says, anyone know how Chase Center is going? When will be done? Good question. Let's. In fact, and John Q. Hey, John Q says, thanks for all the great insight and content. Are you surprised that during his quarterback camp days, Gruden wasn't already grooming a young staff who he could hit the ground running with in his return? Great question. Great question. I Swallow asks, Kobe Bryant versus Michael Jordan. Ooh, one-on-one. Toss up. Richard Hike says, Muhammad, I was at Chase Center today. Another live stream. Oh, man, you could have given us one. Hey, Rich, please, whenever you are out in interesting places like that, I'm here in Georgia. Just do what Morgan Bach does. She's also on Zenny62. Just fire up the camera, man. Let it happen. You know, it'll come up automatically. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Next thing you know, it'll be on Google News. It'll be #1 in the world. Ding! That sort of thing. Richard reports that it's looking good. Seems to be more construction around the arena than the arena itself. Hey, speaking of which, there is a great food place I want to tell you about. And that brings me to, are you all ready for the segment regarding the Raiders live post-game presser? Okay? Because that is where I'm going to take you all to right now. Here. Boom. Coach Gruden.
Ran the ball repeatedly. They possessed the ball, made it tough on us. I thought we hung in there, fought. But I'll answer any questions that I can. I don't don't think the criticism is anything we're really going to address. You know, the critics are, I'm sure, you know, going to be critics. I've said I think he's a great player. You know, I thought our rookie tackles played well today. Our backup left guard, Feliciano, did great. Thought Doug Martin stepped up other than the fumble late in the game. It's not all Derek Carr, but I'll again say I think he's the strength of this team, and I'm excited about him. Why what? Obviously, they, you know, they imposed their will today. You know, they physically did a great job with not only their schemes and their blocking combinations. They did a great job, and you know, we're playing without a couple veterans. We hope to get Eddie Vanderdoes and Cedric Ellis back soon, but I'll make no excuses. It wasn't good enough today.
The fourth quarter of the season seems like you guys run out of gas, or is that an anomaly?
I just take responsibility for that. I think, you know, I thought we came out and played a good football game offensively. We had a fumble. We don't get many possessions. We don't get the ball very often. I don't think they ran out of gas. I just think defensively, we got to take a long look at who we can get on the field to help us right now. We're struggling.
I believe you guys ran 18 offensive plays in the first half. Defense just couldn't get off the field. What sort of pressure does that put on offense when it's almost as if it has to be perfect in order to have a chance to win?
Well, it's been that way pretty much the entire season. We had 3 possessions in the second half against the Chargers. We had 3 possessions in the second half against the Seahawks. I think we had 3 possessions in the first half today. And just goes to show you we got a long way to go, like I've been saying, and we got a short week, obviously, as we get ready for the 49ers.
Field position, obviously important. The 25-yard punt from Townsend.
Yeah, it didn't help. You know, obviously it didn't help. Did not help.
So what kind of options do you have defensively? You got who you got at this point? You got to work with the guys you got?
Well, we tried to make some changes a little bit today. We put Carl Joseph up for the first time in a month. Take a long look at him. We brought Nick Nelson up. First time he's really been healthy, 4th-round corner, to let him play a little bit in the nickel. We brought Kabinda up to play the middle linebacker position. We'll continue to look at our personnel and try to get the best 11 out there this Thursday night.
All those lines here are Conley far more involved today than he's been in the past 2 games. Why does radical jump in his activity?
Why what?
The radical jump in his activity.
Well, he's an interesting young player. He's got a lot of talent. You know, I think, you know, hopefully today is a building block for him. Like most young players, he missed all the last year. Let's not forget, even though he's a 1st-round pick, he's still a rookie. He didn't play hardly at all a year ago. So every week is a new experience for him. It's great to see him have some good experiences and help us today in some key situations. What do you think, Vic? I mean, they threw it up. The guy made it a one-handed Michael Jordan catch. Got to give the kid credit, really. You know, I hope you do. Another time, I think they threw a jump ball over Carl Joseph. Tough play. And I'll take credit for all of them, but Andrew Luck's a pretty good player. I think he showcased that today.
Do you think all the players in there are on the same page with reality that this might take a while, like you said?
Well, I'm not going to speak for anybody. We're going to build this team. We're excited about the players that we have in there. They're working hard. And it's a tough defeat today. Hopefully we get some healthy bodies next week. Hopefully Vanderdoes and Ellis, guys that have proven they can play in this league, and hopefully Assembly can come back among some other guys. But we're going to keep grinding, keep working, and keep getting better.
Due to injuries or otherwise,
I didn't have any injuries today other than T.J. Clemmings, who we're concerned about. He hurt his knee. We had to shuffle the roster today. We had to carry 8 offensive linemen for the first time this year. That's why I think you saw Reggie Nelson and a couple guys down. We had to make room because we weren't sure about Feliciano's health. We had to put Denver Kirkland up, and we had to have Ian Silberman ready to be the backup center in case something happened to Rodney. So we're doing everything we can, and obviously we'll continue to do that. Yeah, Yeah, you know, I don't know where the controversy is, honestly. You know, I mean, if you're starting a controversy or I'm starting it, I don't know. The reality is we made a trade. I don't think it hurt the offense today. I hope Amari does great. I really do. I want to say that perfectly clear. We did something. We need to address this roster, and we're doing the best we can. It's hard on this team right now, certainly, but I'm not going to keep talking about the critics and the controversy. We got to get better in a lot of areas.
Do you think your players played hard?
Yeah, I don't think playing hard is an issue. I think it was a tie ball game. I think we had to lead the fourth quarter. I don't think playing hard's the issue, but you know, you can replay the game and be the judge of that yourself too.
John, some of the new players who saw time today that you talked about, are you strictly trying to find your best mix for next week and this season, or are you kind of evaluating beyond that as well?
This is pro football. I mean, you can only have 53 guys. You know, that's it. And, you know, you might be able to shuffle it around a little bit. We did that today because of injuries to the offensive line and whatnot. But, you know, we're going to continue to play the best people that deserve a chance to play, that we feel can give us a chance to win. We're not trying to come out here and evaluate players like some audition.
Two more questions. Featured injuries or otherwise, you had to have changes at long snapper, you had to have changes at kicker. Are you open to change at punter, or is Johnny your guy?
Oh, you know, obviously the last punt wasn't very good. He had a couple pretty good punts today. Still waiting for Johnny Townsend, the kid we drafted, to really put it all together. And I'm not going to give up on Townsend. I'm not going to give up, period. And I just hope Raider fans out there understand that we're doing everything we can. And I know it gets ugly at times, but in a lot of ways I'm excited about the future. All right? Thanks, guys.
Okay. So he's excited about the future. Wow. He's, you know, there's a part of me that says, you know, I feel sorry for Jon Gruden, but then on the other hand, I go to the moves the Raiders made to get him, you know, in, the money that he has been offered, that he's been paid so far, the controversy regarding the Rooney Rule, which I thought was horrendous, the insulting of T. Martin, the offensive coordinator at USC, black, and I don't feel so sorry anymore when I look at this outcome. This result is karmic. It's bad. It's the result of bad karma that was ginned up from, well, from last fall, all the way up, okay? All the way up. And you cannot, in this society, in this very sensitive society, diss people en masse and expect success at any level in life. You just can't do that. Here's Derek Carr, okay?
I mean, it shows that everything that we're doing is right, to me. You know, everything that Coach is asking me to do. Obviously, the results haven't been what we wanted, but, I mean, I wish I could tell you that there was, like, some magical thing that I did different, you know, because that would make for a better story. But I've been doing the same thing, you know, just listening to my coaches, listening to Coach Gruden, Ole, Callie, and just trying to get better every week. And so I don't have some magical answer that the outcome of our stats were different, you know what I mean? But I will say that I know that with certain guys gone that I do have to step up, being more vocal, that kind of stuff, you know, nothing football-wise, nothing physical, but just leadership-wise and those kind of things. I do need to do those things better going forward, and I will, you know. Correct. You're right. You're right. You know, when everything's clicking like we know it can, you know, and obviously we've done some really good things in the first half of the season. You know, as an offense, at times, you know, we've done some really nice things. Sometimes you get down and the defenses play different things, and then, you know, some of the game plan stuff is different, you know. But for the most part, we've done some really good things, and today was just another thing of just reaffirming just what I already know, you know. And when the wins come, hopefully everyone else will know too. Yeah, I had to answer some funny questions. But, you know, I know you guys got to do your job, so it's nothing personal. I know that. You know, it was if I'm being honest, as a human, it's hard, you know, because it's a lot of the stuff that was going around, it's like, man, that's just not true, and that hurts, you know. Mm-hmm. And especially just as a man, not even a football player, I'm like, you know, my goodness, you know, like enough's enough. And so just to be able to go out here and play football again, honestly, the best part, I knew media day was Wednesday, and the best part of my day was, man, I just can't wait to get back on the field and just play football, you know. Keep learning from Coach Gruden. I'm not even close to where I can be, you know. I still missed, you know, a few passes today that I wish I had back, and I know that things can be better. So it was hard, but just to go out there and just to score some points and be efficient, it does help it feel better as a human. But at the same time, I didn't really feel good because we lost. I'm tired of losing.
There was no, you don't think it was internal motivation within you because of what was being said? You
Oh.
thought about it, kind of, it's not this way, it's specifically be focused today.
No, I promise. I mean, I don't need to say that. I never lie to y'all. No. I'm the same every day. I try to be, at least. I'm not perfect. I try to be the same every day. But just as a man, you know, sometimes it's hard to hear those things, but there was nothing in me that was like, I need to go prove it. With all due respect, I'm not trying to prove anything to you guys, I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody. I'm just trying to be my best for everybody all the time, if that makes sense. You know, I'm just doing my best and doing what I think I know is right. So there was nothing that was different in my mindset or going into the game. I'm already a pretty fiery guy, not here, but, you know, when I'm about to play and those kind of things. And it was the same. And we just were able to execute. Everyone did their job right for the most part on offense, but it just wasn't enough to me. Sorry. You know, I don't know. Without looking at the film, I was talking a lot on the sideline to guys too, just getting ready for the next drive. So I didn't see other things that were happening. I wish I could tell you. I wish I had a better answer for you. I don't know what the disconnect was. We felt we were doing some good things, and you know, it just ended up not being enough.
You mentioned maybe some of the guys out that you have to be more verbal. Did you find yourself doing that in a huddle, on the sideline?
I'm so sorry. What was the first part?
You know, you mentioned a couple of guys.
Yeah.
You had to be more verbal.
Oh, yeah.
Did you find yourself doing that like the sideline, on the sideline?
Yes. Yeah, practice. It started in practice. You know, that was one of the things Coach Gruden just asked me to do. He said, I need you to be better there. That was one thing, and obviously he tells me 100 things to be better at. You know, that was just one that stuck out to me. It's like, man, you're right, you know, because, you know, when all our guys used to be here and things like that, there's a lot of powerful leaders on our team, so I didn't have to say everything, you know, and we still have a lot of those guys. But he just asked me to be more vocal, more verbal, you know, because he believes in what I have to say, you know, that kind of thing. So it was on the sideline, practice, in the huddle. Really, in the huddle has always been good, you know, but just making sure, you know, just talking to the guys situationally, and I don't know if it helped, but I just know that was the only thing that changed.
I know all of us is frustrating, obviously, but the offensive playing was in the game, you know, you guys played pretty well. It's a little frustrating when you let one slip away, when I guess you're signing the ball and, you know, your receivers and the offensive line played as good as they played in some weeks.
Yeah.
Does it make you more frustrating?
I think it's hard because, you know, you look at it and it's so easy. I just had this conversation with my nephew. You know, he's playing football and they played pretty good on their side of the ball. And he said, yeah, but so-and-so did this. And I said, first of all, don't ever say that again. I said, you could have done way more. And I had him send me his film, and I pointed out all the things to him that he could have done better, you know. And so when things like this happen, there's been times our defense has played great, and laid an egg. And I've been on that side of things, and it doesn't feel good. I know they feel sick right now. And so there's nothing in me that's mad at them or upset at them or anything like that. You know, I know that they're doing their best and trying to get better every day. And, you know, I know we're going to lean on them, you know, to win championships. You know, those are the guys that are going to have to do it. I know this league, you know, you got to win it on defense. And so we know that we're going to lean on those guys, and those guys are going to make plays for us. And so it makes no sense now to, you know, oh man, we play good, but no, you know, we don't. I don't do that. You know, I don't believe in that.
You guys signed a bunch of veterans with Jon Gruden to sell them on the idea that you guys are doing that.
Yeah.
I know you truly feel everyone in that locker room can really buy into the long-term aspect of this.
You know, I can't speak for. I've done this with contract stuff, football stuff. I can't speak for everybody, but the guys that I talk to, the guys I believe in, the guys that are going to be around here for a while, absolutely. You know what I mean? You know, I truly do believe. We always believe we can win. You know, we have great practices, most intense practices, and all these things. So when you hit the field and you're so prepared with our coaches, our offensive coaches, we're so prepared that we always believe, man, oh yeah, we're going to win this game. You know, and so it makes it hard when you lose. It makes it hard when you keep losing. But it doesn't change the fact, you know, the strong-minded people are the ones that get through it. You know, the strong-minded people are the ones that last. I hate to say it, but I've been here before. You know what I mean? And I know how to get out of it. And it's not by giving up. It's not by pointing fingers. It's not by getting with your buddy and talking trash about somebody else. It's about getting together with your buddies and figuring things out. Man, what could I do better? You know, asking your teammates, hey, Rod, what do you think I could have done better? My bad for messing that up. You know, what should I do? That's how we fix it. And I believe that we have guys like that.
Tell me why you think this team is better than 6? Why are you 1-6 right now?
Why we're better?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say this. Coach Del Rio always told me, you are what you earn in this league. So we're 1-6. You know, and so we can sit here and
He
say,
mentioned, oh, wait a minute.
We did this and that.
He quoted Jack Del Rio. Oh!
But I do know this. There are guys and there's a core of people on this team that I believe in with everything in me, that I know are guys that when it gets tough and then when the good times come, they're not going to change. They're just going to continue to do what's right every day. They're going to take care of their bodies. They're going to watch the film. They're going to listen to when their coach corrects them. That's the hardest thing you see in the NFL is when things are going bad, when you're losing and you get a coach that wants to correct you and get you right, and someone gets a little upset about that. If we have guys, and I believe that, we have guys that listen to that coaching, that's how I know we're a good team, meaning from the chemistry point, brotherhood, we got it, but we need to win more football games. Sick. I didn't know. No. I thought you meant did I go and talk to somebody? No. Yeah, our media people told me this morning. That's it. I'll say this. The conversations that I've had with those guys makes me confident that I'm going to be here. You know, I'm not. When I heard all that stuff, I got to be honest with you, it doesn't worry me. You know, it's just more fun for other people to talk about and try and figure things out on ESPN. You know what I mean? I'm not worried. I'm an Oakland Raider. I'm a Raider. I'm not going anywhere. So I love this place, and I want to win a championship for the Raiders. Yeah. Yeah. I will say that like just being, again, a human, there are things inside of you. I didn't change anything I did, you know, but just the way stuff works out, right? You know, you jump through 2 tackles, a guy who ripped your head off in college in a bowl game junior year about 7 times. You know, you jump through and you throw a touchdown and you just laugh. Like, it's so funny how this game works sometimes. You know what I mean? And so it was relieving just in those moments, but I think that I can bring that fire all the time when I need to. Yeah, that was tough. I think we only had 47 plays, one series in the first quarter, 3 total in the first half. I mean, we're supposed to have, I think, like 8 or 9. I don't know the numbers, 7, 8, you know, something like that. So it was just a weird deal. It's tough, but it makes us as offense just think, hey, when we get the ball, we have to score every time. We got to be perfect, you know, and that's not a knock on anything at all. That just is what it is. Some games are like that. Some games you're just clawing to get 6 points to win the football game. You know what I mean? And so you sit there and you watch. It does make it tough, though. It's a call, you know. Coach, he believes in the quarterback sneak, man. You know, I had a dance plan, but they threw a flag, so I've got to run another one.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So that was Derek Carr, and I thought that he handled that press conference really, really well. And my hat's off to him. It was a tough crowd, you know, especially when people are unloading on you and asking you such things as, well, you know, are you going to be traded? Do you know what they're saying about you? I mean, it's really sad, the dynamic where people in general feel like they have to be insensitive toward your plight when you're not doing well at some aspect of life. Back to your comments. Working backward, most recent. Unknown Raider guy says, can someone tell me if Raiders get worse record, how many picks will they get? First round, including 3, okay? And so Muhammad says weak quarterback draft. Actually, Muhammad, I think the quarterback draft coming up is pretty strong. There's a black college quarterback that I'm really high on. His name is Amir Hall out of Bowie State. He is last year's black college quarterback player of the year. He may very well be on his way toward repeating that distinction this year. He's 6'4", 218 pounds, threw 49 touchdowns last year. Excuse me, scored 49 touchdowns last year. I believe 45 through the air. Amir Hall. That man is a raw passing talent who's doing excellent job in college at that level, but I think that in the NFL, particularly with the Raiders, he would excel. And then, you know, there are other people like the gentleman whose name I can't think of right off the top of my head, but he's out of Khalil Mack School, University of Buffalo. Current quarterback, 6'7". You know, laser rocket arm. He's really the laser rocket arm guy. Another high prospect. So I disagree with him. Of course, you have Oregon and the quarterback out of Oregon. So you start adding them up. You know, you really know the talent out there. And I have to say the talent looks pretty good. Joseph Bensman says, is Bryce Love going to be in this year's draft? Yes. He says Raiders might want to aim for him. I think that'd be a great idea. And let's see here. Amir says Ahmad says that this year's draft has great pass rushers. And Manga Dolo says we could have traded Carr to New York Giants and drafted Saquon Barkley and still drafted a top quarterback. That's true. I think, you know, that's what bothers me about the draft with the Raiders. Not trading Carr, because I happen to believe that Derek Carr is the victim of a not well-designed offense, all right? But, and by the way, it's 2:19, folks. I'm going to stop Eastern. I'm going to stop in about 10 minutes. But not landing Saquon Barkley when you know that Marshawn Lynch is, you know, getting up there in years, planning his, you know, retail business and his Las Vegas future, why not bring in someone? Why not bring a running back in that can spell him, who's a star? And you want to know the answer? Because the Raiders couldn't afford him. The Raiders could not afford him. And so the question comes up, not that the Raiders didn't have these draft picks, but the Raiders didn't have the budget to afford these guys. And they were being dishonest about it rather than, hey, you know what? We have this commitment in Vegas. It ain't producing the kind of money we thought it was going to, you know, early on. We have high hopes for the future. Everyone is excited to have us in Vegas, and so we're going there. Just deal with what is. You know, we went through all the stuff with Oakland. Yeah, there needs to be a court session and all that, but the whole point is 2 words, MF, move forward. You know what? Just as Jon Gruden used to say, you know, the horse is blind, but fill the wagon, something like that, whatever it was. So, Mohammed says, give time to defense once right players are in. They have the right players, okay? What they don't have are the right schemes and the right analysis. I'm saying that you can come up with that excuse ad infinitum at some point. Hopefully that maybe you'll strike it one day and you call the right plays and you look good and you win, right? But no, you have the right players. Just be honest. You didn't have the right schemes. You know, I'd love it if Gruden said, you know, we don't have the right schemes, or if Gunther says it, we just didn't have the right scheme. Be really honest. Really true, too. And so John Q says, how you doing, John Q? He says, the epitome of saying all the right things. You're not going to draft another Derek Carr, but you just might get close to another Khalil Mack, in my opinion. I think that's a great point. John Mark says, Carr goes to Jags, film at 11. Oh, by the way, I say this again, Jesus Christ wept. I like this. I saw this quote from Muhammad when Derek Carr quoted Jack Del Rio, and Muhammad says, Del Rio? Oh, he's definitely getting traded. Danielle Wright, how you doing? Welcome. And I think Cowboy Wrestler had to jump off, and you guys were talking about other stuff. Oh, John Q says, if the city of Oakland wanted a Super Bowl winner, shouldn't that finger be pointed at all the head coaches over the previous years? Yes. And he says, example, Gruden doesn't have guilt from the Jamarcus days. Jamarcus Russell was a great quarterback with a lousy coach. Just saying, okay? Jamarcus Russell, great quarterback, lousy coach. All right? So, moving now forward in the order of comments, I have answered the Unknown Raider guy's question. Mr. Binsbins I got, and let's see here. Matter. I don't know what you're talking about. Matter. Raiders have two for Mike Zillum. Mike Zillum, what are you talking about? The Matter says 2 law groups dropped out. I don't know what that means. Richard Hike says it seems to be a game of chicken. Oakland doesn't want to sue before they get a lease. Raiders don't want to sign a lease because of pending suit. Who finishes first? Ah, okay. What's happening is this, all right, that frankly, there's no clock for the city to sue. It's up to the city attorney and the people in New York. They don't need to sue right now. The Raiders, on the other hand, have a finite amount of time between now and December, late December, to find a place for next year. They've got to get that out of the way, okay? So, now Joseph says, what about Tua Tagovailoa? And Muhammad says, what? Russell DeFlippo wasn't impressed with Russell? And so Mike Zulum said something. Sorry, Mike, I don't repeat other media around here. You're just going to have to tell me what you thought you heard. But or I'll find out from my own sources later. But I don't like to promote other media that doesn't promote me. That's just how I roll, okay? So at any rate, sorry, okay? So at any rate, moving along, we have this. What it is, again, I don't promote other media on my channel. Sorry. So I'm not going to do that. So at any rate, my point is this: as far as the lawsuit is concerned, the city attorney has the right to do the lawsuit, to issue it, okay? And there was a team of attorneys. Now, in terms of how that team is going to look or whatever, that's whatever. I mean, the bottom line is they don't have to file a lawsuit this week. They don't have to file it next week. But the Raiders need a place to play in 2019. The Raiders need a place to play in 2019. And right now they don't have it. And they haven't between now and the end of December. Something else, too, regarding that. And here's where the matter of the Las Vegas Stadium becomes dramatically important. I want to show you something. And because it's quite it's something I want you to keep in mind. And when I show it to you, remember, as they say. if indeed I can get it to come up here. But I will just tell you, it is what I'm about to show you is a photograph, if I can find it. If I can find it, what I'm about to show you, if I just found it, is this is an artist rendition by the excuse me for a second, I had a little weird response here, all right? That's weird, all right? At any rate, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, maybe I do, all right? I'm waiting for something to open and it got a little bit of a weird response here. So my point is that there it is. All right. Now, my point is that here it is. What I'm about to show you is here. This is it. This is key. This is from Mortensen McCarthy. And what this is an artist rendition of the Las Vegas Stadium as it is expected to look by this date. That's Christmas Day. Okay, so if you want to gauge how far along this project is, wait until Christmas Day and then evaluate where it is versus this photograph. Because this is where they originally expected it to be by Christmas Day. And basically you can record the elements that are in this photograph. All right, and what are those elements? For example, this grading for the roll out, roll in field, the field paving itself, this completed bowl. See how this is completed? All this concrete, all right? These structures indicating the completion, the continued completion and pouring of the concrete for the seating and the seating structure. Basically, this reinforced concrete and reinforced concrete system, all right? The lower bowl that's being set in here, this mezzanine area, this is the north end, this is the south end, okay? So this is an obvious structure that's moved significantly along, okay? So the question is, will they achieve this? Will they achieve this level of completion by that date? If they don't, and right now it doesn't look like they're going to, the question is, how far behind are they? This is a critical photograph, folks, okay? This is a critical photograph. I even break out a separate blog post on it. This is a critical photograph. So, all right, so that's where we're at in the whole deal, okay? That's where we're at. It is a critical place. The clock is ticking, all right? The clock is ticking. Now, Muhammad says, I really thought the stadium would be delayed due to the tariff drama. I didn't. You're saying the majority of the steel is from China. The question isn't whether or not it will be delayed. The question is, or that it's from China. The question is how much is it going to cost and what level of changeovers will it produce to cause a higher ultimate price. And Big Eightful, hey, Big Eightful. Big Eightful says, if the Raiders have any pride, they will beat the Frisco, as he calls them, on Thursday. Muhammad Ahmad says, Mortensen is a good company, worked with them on a project in Chicago. What project? Tell us. Tell us, what project? Mortensen Stadium is in great hands. Let me make two things clear. First of all, my talking about the stadium not meeting its deadlines, or deadline as it is implied by that photograph, okay, says nothing about the ability of Mortensen to do its job. Because when that artist rendition was formed, the question is, was it formed with the idea that they were going to start earlier than they really did? I don't know the answer, able to get one. All I know is it was released for public view. I recorded it and saved it for a rainy day because it's a guideline regarding what to expect by a particular day, okay? And Muhammad says that he meant quality-wise. Gotcha. And Muhammad says, Z, how far are they right now? Well, let's take a look. They are, well, I can tell you how far they are. In fact, let me go back to that photograph, use that as a guide, because right now it's dark, all right? If I show you the live stream, it's dark. This is how far they are. Basically, they have these structures and these structures up. This lower bow structure, see this first area here has been poured. So they have this, all right? They're working on the pilings that will eventually produce this lower section here. But they've only gotten about this far out, okay? This upper structure, they're making the reinforcements, the steel backing for that the concrete will go around in certain areas, but they're nowhere near a place where they would pour it and expect this kind of design. All right, they would have to be structurally maybe halfway through it by this time, because we're talking about this date is October 29th right now, so we don't have a lot of time. We've got October 29th, November 29th, and that's it. Okay, that's it. You can't rush that in 2 months. So, and that's only one aspect of it. So as far as where they're at, they are roughly 1/4 of this, just by my eyeball right now, of that. The question is, between 1/4 and what I showed you, how much will they complete? Okay? And the answer there, and the gap that exists between that point on Christmas Day of this year and what we really see, and what's in the photograph will tell us how far behind, if they are. That's it. So, okay. There's your news. RN4L says, I worked in construction before. Trust me, they won't get it done by 2 months. You're right. Thank you. Hey, there's a lot of, but again, because they won't, it places a premium on the Raiders to find a place. If they don't get it done on time and they're still collecting pay-go, and you know, if this is being pushed back, what it means is it goes up in cost. Okay, folks, this thing is just not looking good from a cost perspective. You want to have a project that is fiscally liquid. You don't want to turn around and say, we own $15 million here, we're short here. We need $1 billion in sponsorship that we haven't gotten over there. We need a Super Bowl. When you look at the Raider project, it's a situation of we needs as opposed to we haves. And there's no timetable that shows definitively where we're gonna go from the needs to the haves. That's where we're at. That's the problem. Exciting facility? Without question. Underdeveloped with respect to need for other hotel rooms around it? Without question. Those of you questioning what I mean when I say other hotels, you want to bring a Super Bowl in and not price gouge and hope that your patrons get rooms that are reasonably priced? You need 10,000 rooms. It's Vegas. You can't, I'm going to say this again, I'm going to use a curse word. Folks, you cannot half-ass this. You can't just build part of it, get half a loaf and say, we're here. No. Do it right or don't do it at all. That has been my mantra from the time this was proposed. Do it right or don't do it at all. All right. Muhammad says he worked on the GSA Recovery South State Project. Building reached gold certified. Congratulations. Falcons fan, how you doing? Falcons fan says Raiders need D linemen that can stop the run. Unknown Raider guy says typo. Sorry, the structure on the side next to the yellow is already like the picture. And I know what you're talking about, but it's not complete. Okay? It's like the picture that's going up, but if you take a look at it, that structure is complete. The one that we're thinking about, you and I, isn't. Joseph Almendaran says, so I don't believe Vegas will be ready. I suspect the Vegas timeline will be pushed back. And it will be. Again, beautiful facility, and it will be part of some exciting developments in years to come, without question. I think Las Vegas will maintain its mantle as the most exciting city in the world, well, one of, at least in the United States, for years to come. No reason to think otherwise. Danielle Wright says, can anyone tell me what they think about McKenzie GM? Why do you think Reggie is hurting the team if Reggie was there before Jon Gruden? That doesn't make any sense, Danielle. Falcons fan says, do you really believe Gruden thinks Carr is the future franchise quarterback? No. And you know why? I'll show you why I don't think John believes that. And I'm just being very candid regarding what I'm about to show you, okay? Or show you yet again. And
a tough loss. Obviously, the Colts.
Tough loss. So
we had to put Denver Kirkland up, and we had to have Ian Silberman ready to be the backup center in case something happened to Rodney. So
trying to get to that. Okay.
Because we weren't sure about Feliciano's health. They have in there, they're working hard, and it's a tough defeat today. Hopefully we get some healthy bodies next week. Hopefully Vanderdoes and Ellis, guys that have proven they can play. Every week is a new experience for them. It's great to see them have some good experiences and help us today in some key situations. This Thursday night. Did not help.
I'm trying to find, let me explain it because it's going to take a while. He was asked that question, Gruden was, and he made this face like he had just sucked a nasty prune, okay? And when he did that regarding Carr's future, and when he did that, I thought, he's hedging, he's got something in mind, I wouldn't trust it. So, if I were Derek Carr, I would be watching my back, you know? That's just how I feel. Folks, it is 2:38. You hate the idea of a Raiders in a dome stadium? I kind of like the idea myself. At any rate, folks, it's 2:38 in the morning in the East. I want to thank everybody for coming, and see you all later. Thanks a lot.